send it deep for UConn. And Roman Wilson is back at the goal line. And the flying Hawaiian will take it from the 2 and bring it out. And a pretty good return to the 28. Got Blake Corum to his left in the shotgun. 2-by-2 the receiver group, and McCarthy to throw on first down. And it's a quick out to A.J. Henning. Play action. And a screen out to the edge to Roman Wilson. Gets a block, gets down the sideline. Wilson, tough to catch. All the way down inside the 30. Play clock winding down to 2, down to 1. And here's the first opportunity for Blake Corum. He was in on that last tackle. And now it's Corum getting outside to the 15. Corum looking for the pylon. Touchdown. Blake Corum's 3rd touchdown in as many games to start the season for Michigan. And it's 7-0. DeRosa from the 2-yard line will call for a fair catch to bring it out. He has 4 career 100-yard games, 2 last year, already 2 this year. And a true freshman quarterback in Zion Turner to the air to begin. Tried to squeeze one into the sideline with really good players, but you also play against really good players as well. As Carter picks up a couple. That's Robert Burns in motion on 3rd down. A wide receiver. Tunnel screen goes nowhere. Aaron Turner. Really good kick. That will drive A.J. Henning back to his own 25-yard line. Makes the first couple of Huskies miss, but eventually gets bottled up.
And he could be really special. And on the other side, Cade McNamara just so steady.
Quick hitch out to Ronnie Bell. Boy, it's good to see Ronnie Bell back on a football field.
It's good to see him back.
McCarthy on 2nd down and short, long out, and his receiver fell down. So great to see Ronnie Bell back. He is to the far side left on 3rd down. Pulling it down and getting tripped up behind the line is McCarthy. And Brad Robbins on to punt for the first time. And as Victor Rosa, the true freshman, is back deep to receive. Great kick from Robbins, driving Rosa down inside the 15-yard line. He watches it hop, and it takes a bit of a UConn bounce forward, but still, son of Hugh Miller, former NFL quarterback, is in to run this series for UConn. And it's up the middle. Play action fake for Turner. Out to the sideline. That's good for a first down. Zion Turner to Aaron Turner. And moving the chains, the Huskies a gain of 8. Dropping the ball and picking it back up and losing yardage. And on 2nd and 14, it's a handoff to Rosa. Chambers still creeps up to that right edge. It is only a 4-man rush. Turner out of the pocket, looking to extend the play. Gets to the sideline, flips one. It caroms, and it's almost intercepted. For UConn, he'll have to do that. You'd have to think a bunch today. This, another pretty good kick, and not calling for a fair catch. A.J. Henning, and then the flag comes out. Kick, catch, interference, 15 yards.
Kick, catch, interference, kicking team.
All right, Kevin, thanks very much. Back to the air, J.J. McCarthy. Nice jump cut by Roman Wilson.
I don't know if I ever felt joy right before play.
Blake Corum on 1st and 11. Breaks a couple of tackles and picks up 2 for Michigan. Play action, McCarthy. All day to throw. Finds a crosser on time for a first down. Another long throw to the sideline, this time A.J. Henning. He's got another first down for Michigan. 7 tight ends can play for Michigan. They've got 3 of them out there blocking for McCarthy. And McCarthy does damage now with his leg. Trevor Keegan, the left guard, came to the sideline. Giovanni El Hadi replaces him. And this play blown dead at the line. A timeout called by Jim Harbaugh from the Michigan sideline. The question again with Miami, are they for real? Blake Corum on 1st and goal down to the 6-yard line. 2nd down and goal for Michigan from the 6. Corum takes a hit, drives his legs to the 1-yard line. Corum again, over the pile, into the end zone for a Michigan touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Cora to start things off for the Wolverines. Michigan on top of UConn.
Good name and tells.
And this will go into the end zone for a touchback and a chance once again to get an update with Kevin. In the backfield, Zion Turner with a little zone read handoff to Victor Rosa. No gain on first down. Rosa again, lost the football, and Michigan's got it. Chris Jenkins jumps on top. They drop the football and give Michigan another short field at the 22-yard line. McCarthy a swing pass. A.J. Henning, speed down to the 10-yard line. And it looks like it'll be first and goal again for Michigan, a gain of 12. Up the middle goes Henning. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife player. They'll line him up all over. Sometimes play action. McCarthy off his back foot, floats one, end zone. Incomplete. Ronnie Bell thinks he made an incredible catch, staring down a cheering section behind the end zone, but the officials say no. Chance for UConn to get a red zone stop as McCarthy looking end zone. Out of the pocket now, buying some time. Fires one that's knocked down. For Jim Mora. So it is a chip shot field goal attempt.
That talent-wise just gives them a little bit more possibilities.
I guess there's a difference between the guy that's very efficient, maybe a game manager in the room that Jeremy Schaap did on Drew Bledsoe when he lost his job to Tom Brady back in 2001 as Zion Turner runs right and gets knocked out of bounds after a gain of 5. 2nd and 5, what might be the final play of the quarter. Victor Rosa. Knows a little something about engineering to help you with Jenga.
Really looks structurally stable.
Victor Rosa starts off the second quarter with a gain of about 6. There's a slant, tipped up in the air. It should have been intercepted with a flag down as well. A couple of flags thrown.
Pass interference, defense number 5. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
Good enough, obviously, for an automatic first down. Robert Burns continues to act as the tailback. Little play, fake, and a swing pass by. UConn decimated by injuries as Burns gets tripped up near the line of scrimmage and falls forward for 3. Well, not only at quarterback on 3rd down and 7. He's going to lob one-on-one to the sideline, incomplete. Well, George Carrington will kick it away once again. A.J. Henning deep to receive. Play clock goes down to 0. They get it off, and Michigan blocks the punt. It is loose at about the 39-yard line. Scooped up and running the near side. And getting bumped out of bounds. Corum. Down to about the 12-yard line. Slip pass out to the edge to Ronnie Bell. And he is brought down just inside the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. Ian Swenson saved a touchdown.
Defensive back covering Ronnie Bell on the motion. Just gets lost. I mean, watch him. He's got to flip his hips. Caleb Anthony come back around. Ronnie Bell's open as soon as the ball is snapped.
And they'll hand it off to Blake. Corum up the middle for an easy touchdown. His 3rd of the first half. You had to think UConn, to stay in this game, would need to play mistake-free football. They have done anything but, and Michigan takes advantage. And Moody booms another kickoff through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And he'll take the ball here, looking for room, and not finding any. High pass for Victor Rosa. Zion Turner 2 for 7 for 3 yards passing. What's the old saying about true freshmen? The best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll just see it a little bit better the more experience he gets. Tunnel screen incomplete. Right through the hands of Jacob Flint. Punt attempt by Carrington. This time he gets away. A line drive spiral that Henning will make a fair catch on.
It was as advertised.
C.J. Stokes, a freshman, right up the middle. Blake Corum's already tied his career high with 3 touchdown runs here in the first half alone. So J.J. McCarthy still in at quarterback. And this time Stokes brought down behind the line. Loss of a couple. Eric Watts with the tackle for loss. We'll see if we see Cade McNamara at some point today. And Michigan with Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn, their first 3 games. It's almost, Roddy, like an NFL preseason for them. Able to work a lot of different bodies in and out of games until they get into the Big Ten schedule, which of course begins next week.
And it's an opportunity for you to try some stuff out, whether it's packages, plays. You could put some stuff on film that make teams prepare for it, but also an opportunity to hold a lot of stuff back.
Stokes bounces outside and gets bottled up. He loses 3 more. Boye Randall held the edge. 3rd down and 14. A lot of speed to the wide side of the field for Michigan. McCarthy out of the pocket. Still extending the play. Looking downfield. And he'll be brought down. Brandon Boye Randall is there again. A loss of a couple more, and it will be a Michigan punt.
There was just absolutely nobody open down the field for Michigan. J.J. McCarthy bought as much time as he could. The offensive line does a decent job only rushing 3, but there's so many bodies clogging up lanes. And then Boye Randall, he's having himself a little game to track down the quarterback.
So Brad Robbins gets away a wobbly kick, and it will take a Michigan roll inside the 5 downs at about the 4-yard line.
This Michigan defensive line has really controlled the line of scrimmage when they've been on the field.
And Nate Carter is in as the lone setback. Straight ahead run. Out to about the 9-yard line. That's a good pickup on 1st down of 5 yards.
Cut the distance in half for a 1st down. It's a big time play for UConn.
The toss this time to Carter. Out to the 12-yard line or so. They'll actually mark him down at the 11. Jalen Harrell, Junior Colson combined on the tackle to make it 3rd down and 3.
I'm surprised UConn hasn't done more of that stuff today, out there on the edge, trying to get away from the middle of that Michigan defense. I think they felt like that a bit of an advantage. And Cale Millen, backup quarterback in the game. We've seen him twice, and it's been 2 quarterback runs.
Millen will give it to Rosa. Rosa with a push short of the 1st down line to gain by a yard. So it will be a 3 and out even after the 5-yard gain on 1st down. Another stop for Chris Jenkins.
Jim Mora not pleased with something that he saw from his offense on that one. But Chris Jenkins, number 94 for Michigan, did a good job on the front side, not allowing any push, forcing Rosa back in and being able to bring him down. Players around the line of scrimmage, it's going to be tough to do anything, even in short yardage.
So A.J. Henning, returnable from the 39-yard line. Breaks a couple of tackles. Henning to midfield. So A.J. Henning, returnable from the 39-yard line. Breaks a couple of tackles. Henning to midfield. Left Spade breaks another tackle. Heading down the sideline. Looking for the pylon after a cutback. He's got a Michigan touchdown.
What an individual effort by A.J. Henning. Watch the number of missed tackles. 1, 2, 3 guys have a chance at, and another special teams spectacular play by the Wolverines.
Football in 60 is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For the playbook on home loans, Rocket can.
Guys loose on a punt block. Giving up a punt return touchdown. That is the frustrating stuff.
Back to Kevin Nagandi. Back to the offense for UConn. And back to the zone read. And then a little RPO for Zion Turner. Cale Millen, straight quarterback run. And he lost a half yard. 6th punt already for Carrington. Henning brought back the last one for a touchdown. This one, a sliding fair catch. As J.J. McCarthy is still out there, and he'll throw a swing pass to a wide-open Ronnie Bell down the sideline. Bell breaking tackles. Bell down inside the 35. Play action on the rollout. McCarthy fires one across his body on the move, wide open. Down inside the 5-yard line goes Schoonmaker to the 1. As Corum is the I-back looking potentially for his 4th rushing touchdown of the first half, and he has got it.
Full arsenal on display for Michigan.
That's Roddy Jones. I'm Bob Wischusen. Chris Budden is with us. A line drive kick from Moody. Takes a hop through the back of the end zone.
To sit there and learn from a guy who's done it in college.
Under pressure, heaving one to the sideline to put that rookie right on the field right away. And as Carter gets tripped up near the line, picks up about 3.
It's a step up in competition and preparation.
Turner scrambling on 3rd down. Has some room to run. He's going to tuck it under, and he will pick up the 1st down and more.
Collective effort than it was last year.
There's Mike Morris, and if there's one guy that looks like he might be ready to take that role for Michigan, it's probably him. And he is bringing pressure here. But Turner gets out of the pocket, dodging tacklers, and slides. 2nd down and 8. They'll run it right up the middle with Carter. He's got a 1st down.
More pep in your step. You don't want to give Michigan a lot of time, but as you said, you likely don't have it now.
Turner, back shoulder to the sideline, incomplete, hoping for Jacob Flynn. Zion Turner has missed on his last 8 pass attempts, and now a false start. Turner wants the screen, and it's red. Four-man rush on 3rd and 15. There's the check down. Carter's got it. Brought down inbounds at the 43-yard line. And let's see if either team spends a timeout here. And the clock is stopped with 28 seconds to go.
Zion Turner goes that way.
He looks for the slant right instead, incomplete. He takes over at quarterback, gets a standing ovation. And he will get hit and dropped. And we'll see if that takes us to halftime. No, Michigan's going to spend a quick timeout with 14 seconds to go in the half as Eric Watts is able to get his 1st sack of the season.
Eric Watts against Trente Jones, who has had moments of lapsing.
We'll put a couple of extra seconds back up on the clock. 2nd and 15 with 16 seconds to go before halftime. It's a UConn blitz, picked up. McNamara, long throw to the sideline. To pull it in is Ronnie Bell. An 18-yard gain.
They rule him out of bounds. If so, either way, they're going to be able to get another playoff.
And McNamara will spike it with 3 seconds to go in the first half.
It's a good throw by McNamara, deep out, kind of floating away from it too. A great catch by Ronnie Bell. 2 plays in, Cade McNamara's taking 2 big hits, but standing in there and wisely getting up to the line of scrimmage. Clock stops on a 1st down, spiking it and giving a chance for a long field goal.
You've got the Groza Award winner from last season, best kicker in America. And UConn's going to call a timeout before a 62-yard field goal attempt for Jake Moody.
Trying to get down and cover.
So this would be an all-time Michigan record for longest field goal made if Moody's able to knock it through, but Rosa is under the goalposts to see if he comes up short. And this is going to be returnable. He will come up short. Rosa's going to run it out. Rosa to the 20-yard line. And knocked out of bounds. So it won't be a kick 6. But it will be a 38-0 Michigan lead at halftime. To the rest of the the team. So doesn't seem to be any doubt that he's made the right call having J.J. McCarthy take over.
And if this was a battle at defensive end, it'd be a meritocracy. For that to extend to the most important position, I think shows the values of this program.
Well, UConn will start with the football after putting up only 64 yards of total offense in the first half. And Nathan Carter is fighting through some type of an injury as Zion Turner on a keeper gets down the sideline. And he gets across the 40, out to the 43-yard line, picks up 19 yards.
Depth at quarterback probably affects this some, but we haven't seen enough of that today. Zion Turner's running ability. Michigan keyed on the running back. Zion Turner pulls it or gets around the corner for a big gain. The best plays of the day.
That's the longest play from scrimmage offensively for UConn. A toss to Victor Rosa, the freshman. Finds a cutback lane, gets across midfield. He's got 8 more. What can still be accomplished in this game for UConn?
I think establishing, number one, fight. I mean, it has to be ingrained in your program that you're going to fight for 4 quarters, especially early on in Jim Mora's tenure. Establishing that no matter what the scoreboard says, you're going to continue to fight. But 2, when you're going to get the opportunity to continue to get reps, and if they're going to win this year, that offensive line has to be a big part of it. 2 good runs early on.
Rosa again, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. And it doesn't get much easier for UConn, and Nick Charlton calling plays next week as they'll go on the road to NC State. Flags down at the snap of this play.
False start. Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's 3rd down and 6 after the penalty. Another handoff to Rosa up the middle, and he's got the first down. Right into the heart of the Michigan defense. He got 7.
It's a good push by that UConn offensive line. Nazi Smith there in the middle kind of slips on the backside to create a big hole. UConn's starting to build something in the second half. There's just still a bunch of starters out for Michigan, so it's not like they've had wholesale changes on the defense. That type of momentum is something that you can build off of and show your team.
Michigan just trying to get lined up on defense here. And Rosa takes advantage. And this is the deepest that UConn's been able to move the ball so far today. It's the first time they're inside Michigan's 43-yard line.
And some of this stuff's going to frustrate Jim Harbaugh, not getting the call in early enough. Michigan's a defensive line where they like to send certain players to the strength of the formation, certain players to the weakness. And Jesse Mentor, first-year offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator here in Michigan, will be frustrated with that sequence.
And there's big number 58, Nazi Smith. He's the only returning defender to start every game last year for Michigan. And of course they lose that big 1-2 punch, and now the reverse is a fumble in the backfield. And Dejon Harrison, the messed up exchange with Victor Rosa. Harrison has to cover it up. It's a loss of 10.
Victor Rosa, one of the backups at running backs. You just wonder how many times has he repped this? Is this something, a package that's in there for him? Looked like the timing off on that one. So I think they'd have had some room on the other side if they'd have been able to link up, but frustrating play after some good momentum early in the drive.
That's Victor Rosa, the true freshman, still in at running back. Again, it has been piecemeal work for Nate Carter in today's game as he was dinged in the first half with an undisclosed injury. Here's a shot down the sideline for Zion Turner, incomplete. Tried to squeeze it into Clercius. DJ Turner again forced Clercius right up against the sideline.
Michigan showed man-to-man coverage early. DJ Turner does a nice job of just edging the receiver towards the sideline. You know, in practice, they paint these red lines on the field that are about 5 yards from the sideline. You're taught to hold the red line, press back into that defensive back. DJ Turner eliminates the window to throw the ball by pressing him out towards the sideline.
Carrington to punt for the 7th time. He's had one blocked and one returned for a touchdown, and that one was almost blocked. Takes a sideways hop. At 38-0, he's got Blake Corum in the backfield, so the starters pretty much in totality back on the field to open up the third quarter offensively.
This helps from a conditioning standpoint, having to shut it down and then ramp back up, as you said.
Corum. First down. Picked up 11.
Part of the toughest thing early in the year is when you get into some of these fights, when you haven't been in them, when you're having to go into the fourth quarter, just the overall feeling of being locked in mentally for that long, something that you have to get used to. You don't do it in scrimmages, and so until you do it in a game, you don't really get in the flow of it, even if you played some ball, but especially when you have a quarterback that's not accustomed to doing it.
This time McNamara gives it to C.J. Stokes. And he gets a yard. I am the heart and soul guy of this defense. He braces it every week and plays just about every defensive snap.
He's the heart of this crew. When you have a leader that's willing to put his body on the line like that, it really inspires the whole defense, and he's played well this year.
McCarthy over the middle, and the catch made for a gain of about 4 to Eric All. There's another tackle for Jackson Mitchell. And how about the game day story today with Eric All? Back in 2001, as a baby, saved from a house fire by 2 firefighters, was not breathing. They basically said he was dead when they pulled him as a baby out of the house fire, but he was revived, and the firefighter that saved him, named Tom Broyles, met him this year for the first time since then. They were reunited.
An incredible story, and a guy who is going to play at the next level. He's one of the best tight ends in the country. A great story.
McCarthy to the sideline, right at the first down line to gain. It's hauled in by Ronnie Bell. His momentum took him back, but it looks like he stepped out right at the 40-yard line for a first down.
Watch Blake Corum in protection. JJ McCarthy actually bails from the pocket a little early there, but when you make a completion like that, all's well that ends well. But nice job in pass protection by Blake Corum.
If you didn't see the Gene Wojciechowski piece on Eric All earlier today, go find it.
It's worth checking out.
It's
Absolutely
worth watching. It was just tremendous storytelling and an amazing story. McCarthy swings one out to Roman Wilson. Wilson with speed. He has that extra gear. Tripped up by Chris Sheeran. And that might have been the last man between he and Roman Wilson in the end zone.
It's really good blocking on the perimeter. These wide receivers have done a great job all day on the perimeter. That was Cornelius Johnson. And it's a good decision by J.J. McCarthy. That's a decision that's based on numbers. So you count the guys in the box and the number of guys that you have outside to defend that little bubble screen goes to Roman Wilson. When you've got a talent like that, with the speed that Wilson has, anytime he can get in his hands is a good play.
Henning in motion. He takes the jet sweep handoff. Inside for 4. Another tackle for Jackson Mitchell.
What's got to be really exciting for Michigan fans is I think we've only seen a fraction of what Michigan's going to throw out this year. They've got 4 really talented tight ends that can all split out. At some point this year, all 4 of those guys are going to be on the field together. When you have Donovan Edwards back, putting he and A.J. Henning on the field together, do you consider them receivers, running backs? They can play both. It's a lot of toys for Sharon Moore and Matt Weiss.
Straight ahead handoff to C.J. Stokes. And that looks to be good for another Michigan first down.
Sharon Moore, the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach, also kind of play caller. I mean, Michigan has been very, very vague about how the plays are called and who's calling them between he and Matt Weiss, but it has certainly worked.
They did mark Stokes down about a half-yard shy, and Sequoia McDuffie is down and injured for UConn, so we'll step aside.
Football in 60 is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For the playbook on home loans, Rocket can.
That's just a little snippet of the story of Eric All as a baby in a house fire. Blasting up the middle, Isaiah Gash on third down, picks up the first down. Saved by Tom Broyles, an EMT named Sean Venus. And you can see him in the blue jacket carrying All onto a stretcher. Immediately started to give him mouth to mouth and heard just a little bit of a cry, a little bit of a whimper and a gasp of breath, and knew when they got him in the ambulance that they basically taken him from dead to alive.
And it highlights what our first responders do every single day. We don't often get the follow-up stories of where the people that are saved by our firemen and EMTs end up. So not only is it a great story about Eric All, but also about our first responders and what they do on a daily basis.
Ronnie Bell scoops one up from McCarthy down to the 11-yard line, a gain of 12.
J.J. McCarthy just back to work. He's able to get that throw up a little bit, then Bell may have a chance to get in the end zone, but still able to get a completion. And this has been a very methodical drive for Michigan. It's been a very mature drive by this offense, just consistently getting small chunks of yardage.
11th play of the drive. Corum. Cut back. Touchdown, number 5. 5 did and have so far.
Very interesting.
Those Jackets, the Rec got a chance in that game? You give them a puncher's chance?
I give him a puncher's chance. Yeah, defense has played well this year.
That's what I like to hear. Well, let's take a look. There's a check down to Burns in the left flat. And he gets stood up and ridden out of bounds. Colson with the stop after a gain of about 5. Yeah, we always need to make sure that we talk and honor every year about those that run towards danger.
Right. Those that run towards it when everybody else is running away. People that are the backbone of this country, man.
And off to Rosa. 2 yards shy of the first down. And again, Derek Moore in the middle of that pile for Michigan.
Still a decent number of starters out there for Michigan. Chris Jenkins still out there, Mozzie Smith as well, Mason Graham. And we were told that the starters would likely play a little bit longer than we expected today, as Michigan's starting to gear up with their Big Ten opener next week against Maryland.
It'll be 4th down. Rosa brought down behind the line. A loss of a yard. Kari Page came through along with Jalen Harrell.
At the defensive line slanting, and Jalen Harrell comes right through. He's been one of the really nice surprises early in this season. He knew he was talented, but playing that Sam linebacker spot up on the line of scrimmage a lot for this Michigan team. He's done a nice job early in this season, makes a big play there.
Now DJ Turner gets a chance to return a kick for Michigan. As Carrington has been busy, the punter for the Huskies. A.J. Henning, of course, the first half punt return for a touchdown. And this one returnable for Turner. Out of the wash. Nope, he gets bottled up and brought down after a 4-yard return. As Davis Warren takes over at quarterback now for Michigan and squeezes one in over the middle.
He used to do a couple 110 sprints down the sidelines, but says, I don't want to pop an Achilles at my age. That would not be good.
When he said that to us as the coach, if I was going to take anything out, not to pop an Achilles, it'd be the stadiums of the big house. But no, Jim Mora said he likes the challenge of going uphill. He likes doing hard things. He's an avid mountain climber, hiker. And this UConn program is certainly going to be an uphill battle. As you mentioned, Bob, this is a team that has been on really hard times here recently.
The walk-on quarterback Davis Warren hands off to Isaiah Gash, picks up the first down.
And Jim Moore is a guy that's taken over projects rebuilding projects previously. When he was at UCLA, that was a program that was 10 games under 500 in the years before he took over. 16 games over 500 in his tenure there at UCLA, so had to rebuild it. Now, UCLA, one of the big brands in college football, obviously is seen by the realignment, so UConn a little bit different. But if there's anybody that's going to embrace a challenge, certainly Jim Moore.
Stokes to midfield, and I wonder about that challenge.
Yeah.
With all of the crazy conference realignment we see all the time, and there's more of it this year in college football, who's to say that at some point UConn as a program may go a different direction? But they seemed to make a philosophical lean towards basketball.
Yep.
Saying, you know what, we'll stay independent in football, even if that is to the detriment of our football program. Our priority is basketball and getting back in the Big East. The current Big East of those old basketball rivalries, what does that mean for the future of their football program? As getting spun down as Alex Orji, the fourth-string quarterback, in to take a snap.
You know, it's a great question, because as we've looked towards Notre Dame specifically with all the realignment, being an independent, we haven't really talked much about the other independents, UConn being one of those in football. What happens to them down the line as these conferences get bigger?
Third down to start the fourth quarter. Isaiah Gash moves the pile for a Michigan first down. Alex Orji now back in the game, and he throws a swing pass out to the edge. Brought in by Tavier Dunlap.
Benching Haynes King before they take on Miami.
Orji on a keeper with a flag down.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Defense, number 7. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, first down.
We'll see if Max Johnson gives him a spark.
Now Andy Maddox gets a chance to take a snap at quarterback. Hands one to C.J. Stokes. Stokes turned back at the 10-yard line. There is still a segment of our viewership that's very closely dialed into what may or may not happen on this drive.
We'll be tuned into every Michigan drive from here on.
Well,
it's very important.
Davis Warren gets a chance to rotate back in. Now it is just the quarterback carousel.
Yes, it is.
Being employed by Jim Harbaugh. Different quarterback, it seems, every snap. It's an all-out blitz coming from UConn. There's a slant thrown low, incomplete. Dash empties the backfield. Quarterback keeper. Orji breaks a tackle. Touchdown. And Michigan continues to pour it on. Extra yard for teachers is always a chance for us to say thank you to folks out there that have chosen to do a much more productive thing with their lives than we have chosen to do. As we go back to Kevin Nagandi.
I think the Jackets can make it close.
A roll out here for Zion Turner. And he'll run to the sideline and run out of bounds, chased out by McGregor.
And offensively, I think they've made strides with Jeff Sims at quarterback, but it's a tall task against a very talented Ole Miss team. The question this year, I think, is can anybody beat Georgia? Because in their games against Oregon and South Carolina, Georgia is now scored 94 points so far and only allowed 3. So Georgia looks to be just unstoppable, but Michigan should be in the conversation all year long.
Dejon Harrison on that end around, just short of a first down. So UConn tries to get lined up to quarterback sneak it. I'm not sure they were set. And as a result,
30-second charge timeout, Michigan.
It's been all run with Caleb Millen so far.
And he'll run the option, it looks like. Hold on and get thrown for a loss. And it is a turnover on downs as Michigan. And everything that Jim Harbaugh gave back pre-COVID, he basically got back after that win. Alan Bowman in the game now at quarterback, and he'll hand one off to C.J. Stokes. There were NFL rumors again regarding Jim Harbaugh. off of last season, and here he is still in Michigan, and his salary has returned to the lofty heights it was once at.
Yeah, and I know Michigan fans were a little uneasy with where the program is going. Would they ever get over the hump? But sometimes it just takes time to get all the pieces the right way, and we don't like to have a lot of patience nowadays in college football, but it's amazing what one win can do over the right team.
Andy Maddox hits Amarian Walker, and now Alan Bowman will run back in and play quarterback. So the quarterback shuffle continues for the Wolverines, and a lot of slaps on the head for Maddox for that completion. Of course, this is now J.J. McCarthy's team, and he'll be back out there for the Big Ten opener next week against Maryland. Isaiah Gash picks up the first down. And Hassan Haskins with 5 touchdowns against Ohio State last year. Blake Corum, 5 touchdowns in today's game against UConn. He had 4 in the first half.
It's been an impressive performance, and his 5 touchdowns are really just a microcosm of how efficient this offense has been. The offensive line has been fantastic as they've gotten in the low red zone. This offense has just been methodical.
Substitution, offense, 12 men, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now it's Alan Bowman. He'll take the snap and give it to Leon Franklin. He picks up 2.
For those who have followed college football and are wondering, where have I heard that name Alan Bowman before? Started for Texas Tech for a couple of years. Very famously had a partially collapsed lung after a game against West Virginia a few years ago. Played a lot of ball down at Texas Tech, and he's the 4th stringer, maybe the 5th stringer here for Michigan. That's the kind of depth they have at quarterback.
Franklin again, breaking tackles. Fights his way to the 20-yard line. You know, one other thing that bears mentioning about Blake Corum, not only 5 touchdowns on the ground today, but exactly the kind of example setter that you want in your program. He uses a lot of his NIL earnings to give back. He's got some NIL money coming in. He bought 100 turkeys last year for Thanksgiving to give away. He buys Christmas gifts in concert with the Detroit PAL. He holds an annual charity football camp for kids, a free football camp to come and spend the day on his own dime. As Bowman climbs the pocket, dumps one off. Into the sideline, Franklin reaches in. Is he in? He is. Another Michigan touchdown. I think the hand plants.
The right knee certainly.
He's good. That's a touchdown.
Touchdown. And the absolute domination continues for Michigan.
Even the backup kicker, Tommy Doman, gets a chance to come in and try a point after. And he knocks it right down the middle. Getting back to the orange for a moment. That was a team that Jim Mora told us when we were talking to him this week. He thinks they're sneaky good. And that's a team obviously you know a lot about. As UConn just trying to get on the scoreboard before the game's over with 8 minutes to go. And Victor Rosa picks up a yard. Now, Nathan Carter, we saw unspecified injury, but did not look like himself in the first half. He did come back in and gave it a go, carried the ball a handful of times, but you have to think at this point you've got NC State on the road next week, and then a bunch of games that look a lot more winnable for UConn once you get past next week in the second half of their season. And you have to think that right now they're trying to make sure that Nathan Carter's going to be as healthy as he can be for those games, because he has not played much in today's game.
No, he is not. After that first drive.
stumble on the exchange. So with 5:40 to go in the fourth quarter, Michigan will kick it away, and they'll let Tommy Doman go in. He just connected on a point after the last Michigan touchdown, and now he'll have a chance to punt for the first time. Pretty good kick. Rosa, fair catch, down to the 16-yard line. Let's go down to Chris Budden.
Bob, a pretty unique story. Mimi Bolden Morris, a grad assistant for Michigan, is the first female grad assistant in the Big Ten.
Not only as a basketball star, she had that sport to talk about with Coach Harbaugh, but she's just addicted to football. And on this quarterback keeper, Millen tries to run to the sideline. He's got nowhere to go. And I think she can help our coaching staff. And so they brought her in as a GA to help work with the quarterbacks and be on the offensive side.
I love that thought process from Jim Harbaugh. Number one, making your organization better, regardless of the gender of the person that can do that. But number two, I mean, so often we see men coaching in women's sports and sports that they never played. But when a woman wants to coach a man's sport, we often get, well, you didn't play that. Doesn't matter. If you have a mind for the game and you can make the organization better, you deserve a spot. And so I love Jim Harbaugh thinking outside the box to make his organization better.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go as UConn tries to keep this drive alive. 3rd down and 6. Gail Millen up the sideline, underthrows Robert Burns on a little wheel route, as he would have had the first down if Millen had elevated that pass and put it on him. So it will be 4th and 6 with 3:56 remaining.
You see the result isn't going the way UConn would have hoped, but they're going to look back at this film and see so many opportunities where the plays are there and you just have to make them, whether it's catching a football on a 3rd down, making a throw on a 3rd down. Little things where Michigan didn't beat you on that play, you beat yourself.
Baratan to punt again. And Thaw looking for a return. Catches this one in traffic and goes down.
So far today.
Danny Hughes.
So it looks like this Michigan team's set up for an undefeated showdown potentially with Ohio State at the end of the year.
Brandon Mann.
And if you could have them play in the championship game, it would give you a better opportunity to get 2 teams potentially in the college football playoff.
Then why have 2 divisions?
9-game conference schedule. But I think that's where we're going to end up, where the best 2 teams play, you get some sort of more regular rotation. If you want to give your team, your conference, the best opportunity to get as many teams in that field as you can.
One last need taken for Michigan. And it was Andy Maddox that gets a chance to do the honors. Jim Harbaugh had 7 different quarterbacks today complete at least 1 pass. So the largest home shutout since 1975, 59-0. Will be your final. Michigan over UConn, and now the Big Ten schedule starts next week for number 4.
And now we're really going to learn about Michigan going forward.